Alright y'all, welcome to the Midwest Amateur channel. This is my first video for the channel. I named myself Midwest Amateur because I'm an amateur at everything I do. This is kind of a rushed video. I've been trying to put it out for a long while, but work and life gets in the way a lot of times, and not having my own lab space, I work outdoors. And working against the elements of nature is pretty crappy sometimes. So, I've already messed this video up. I forgot to do the videos for loading the flasks, greasing the joints, all that good stuff. I was going to make it a big deal. But for now, we're going to do this one, and I'll redo the greasing joints and putting everything together with the acetic acid video that I'm doing next. So this is my first video, nitric acid. Been done to death and a half. But it's always nice to do because nitric acid is such an important reagent. It can be used to add nitro groups to aromatics like toluene, trinitrotoluene. So things like that can be made. You can also just make nitrate salts. You can dissolve lead in nitric acid. Certain things like that. So we got potassium nitrate. We're doing everything on a 1 molar scale. This makes the math pretty easy and quite lazy for me, as all we have to do is go to Google and look up the molar masses. I've been the lazy chemist when it comes to math lately, so here we go. Potassium nitrate, we're going to start off with 101.1032 grams. I'm going to go ahead and round that to 101.1. So we started with that and loaded it into a 500 milliliter flask. Probably didn't need that big, but it's the smallest round bottom I got right now. Sulfuric acid, we had 1 molar, 98.079. So with this, you need to weigh your sulfuric acid in a beaker on your scale, something along that line. This produces nitric acid. 63.01 grams, or 1 mole of nitric acid. Potassium bisulfate is the byproduct. It's 136.169 grams per mole. Down here we got the balanced equation for everybody. I'm sorry about the shakiness. I have forgot my little tripod stand thing I use, so bear with me. I've kind of been moving back and forth between a couple of places, so life's been a little hectic. But I'm gonna go poor man's chemist. Focus, you piece of shit. Alright, KNO3 plus H2SO4 equals KHSO4 plus HNO3. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and do the video. Basically what I've done here is just made a few clips of the process. This is my first video. It's probably going to be kind of crappy, but here it is. So the process is loading your potassium nitrate into your flask to start off with. You're going to top that with your sulfuric acid, already having your distillation set up ready to go. That way when you add the sulfuric acid, you want to add it probably not all at once. It's going to release a lot of heat. The sulfuric acid I use is 93%. It's not completely dry, so obviously we're not going to get fuming nitric acid, but we are going to get really good quality nitric acid. So this is what we're using, and once you have your potassium nitrate loaded up, your sulfuric acid loaded up, you can put it together and start the heating. Nitrogen dioxide will be produced by the breakdown of this reaction. I would recommend, and I don't do it, but if you want the most for your money, start slow. Get the mixture to melt before you up the heat a little bit. You're going to break some down. Nitrogen dioxide is going to be produced pretty well no matter what. It's very difficult to not get out. So if you get the mixture to melt before you turn up the heat a whole lot, it will help. Usually I just go ahead and crank the heat up and I get a ton of nitrogen dioxide, kills my yield, blah 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 blah. So once you start the heating, everything starts to melt. You will notice the nitrogen dioxide, brownish red gas, gets really dark inside. So what I do is I have my vacuum takeoff adapter. I've hooked a tube that's hooked to a funnel, and I submerge the end of the funnel, not the tube part, but just the funnel, in a solution of sodium hydroxide. This will capture the vapors and neutralize them. So as the nitrogen dioxide is produced, you will start to get distillate that will start absorbing that nitrogen dioxide. Your nitric acid will be contaminated with it, so mine is still kind of yellow, but you can redistill it. And you can also use peroxide, I've heard. Haven't tried it, don't really care. For me, the nitrogen dioxide doesn't really interfere with the reactions that I do. So we're going to go ahead and get started, show the clips, and then I'll show my results, and we'll kind of go over everything. The final product, I ended up with about 45-ish milliliters. So coming back, I'm not actually going to calculate my yield. You saw how much nitric acid was received out of that. It's going to be between azeotropic and 80%. I don't know. I didn't calculate. Literally just threw about 15 milliliters of water in and went on a 1 molar scale. So probably still going to be really potent. I prefer now to do fuming nitric acid that I have a respirator. I use a couple of box fans. Try to basically just keep the vapors from escaping, even though you got a respirator on. Most of the time you can't even smell it. But the first time I ever did this, I took it off a little too early and got a whiff of the nitric acid and the nitrogen dioxide on two separate points. Nitrogen dioxide is very chlorine-like. Still kind of acrid. Nitric acid is very stinky. It smells rotten. I don't know. I always tell people it smells like decay, I guess, but probably not a good accurate description. It does stink to high heck. It's terrible. But good, not good to breathe in, so I use my respirator pretty consistently. I tend to not take it off until I'm away from the reaction. If I'm suspicious there might be anything left in the air. So my yield was actually fairly good. I got a lot out of it, and I was happy about it. It is contaminated, so I can't really get a good concentration on it. But this has been my first video. Thank you for watching. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe. Go easy. This is my first video. Or be savage. I don't care. Have a great day.